So you know that there are so many things that are going on right now. People are talking about inflation, they're talking about crypto, they're talking about the stock market. And there is so much to learn, and those are actually possibly great opportunities depending on what type of person you are. You know, some of the things you have to think about is you have to think about the risk tolerance. Are you able to handle that type of risk? Are you able to actually be within that type of investment for a long time? And really, for beginners, those may not always be the best investments to start off with, especially if you don't have a lot of capital. And that is why in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you the best investment that I believe that you can make in 2025, and that is investing in yourself. Now, you may be sitting there thinking like, Matthew, how can I invest in myself and how is that even beneficial? Well, investing in yourself is very beneficial because of the fact that as you invest in yourself, just as investing in the stock market, over a period of time, you start to grow. And many people believe that for you to actually be successful, that you have to start doing all these different things. They think you have to, start a business. They think you have to go and, have the nice cars, have the nice houses, go on these vacations, start these social media platforms. And although some of those things may play a part in you being successful, those are only a very small part that it play. And the main thing is becoming the person that can actually acquire those things or also become the person that can manage those things. And that's why investing in yourself is the best investment that you can make, because if you never ever change who you are, you will never be able to get to where you want to be. People always talking about dream big. They always talking about, you can go out there and accomplish your goals and accomplish your dreams, but they never really tell you how is it that you can do it. And the way that you do it is by becoming the person that can actually achieve those things. So, what does it actually take for you to get started? Well, the first thing is you have to decide to start. You have to say, look, I am going to decide to become this person. What does this person actually do on a daily basis? How do they carry themselves? How do they talk? How do they walk? And different things like that. But to get started, the first thing is you have to make a decision. You have to make a decision that that is exactly what you want to do. Now, after you make that decision, and remember that decision is much different than choosing. And you might be thinking, well, what is the difference? Let's say that you were like, hey, I want to go get some ice cream. Well, you made the decision that you were going to go to Dairy Queen, or you made the decision that you were going to go to Cold Stone, or whatever other ice cream shop there is out there. You made a decision that you were going to go to that specific ice cream shop. Now, when you decide, or once you get there, after you've decided what shop you're going to go to, you have different choices. You can choose vanilla, you can choose strawberry, you can choose cookies and cream, and you have all of these other flavors. That is choosing. When you go to choose something, you can actually change your mind. But when you make a decision, you are set on achieving whatever it is that you decided on. So first you have to make a decision that, okay, I am going to become the person that can achieve these things. And the next thing is you have to take into account what are, number one, you listening to. So you have to change what you are listening to. Now, the reason why you have to change what you're listening to is because even in the Bible, it talks about faith come by hearing. And basically, what that means is there are a lot of things in your life right now that you may desire to have. But because you are listening to the wrong people, and sometimes the wrong person may be yourself, but because you are listening to the wrong people, you have these voices that are going on inside of your head that is causing you to be a lower version of yourself instead of the person that can actually accomplish those dreams. So when you change what you're listening to, some of the things that you can actually listen to are self-development programs. You can listen to seminars. You can listen to audiobooks that are like self-help. And the reason why these are so important is because it's going to cause you to start thinking differently. And as you get ready to go, and let's say you're planting something, you have to go and you have to agitate the ground. And that's basically what you're going to be doing with your mind when you're listening to self development, listening to seminars, listening to audiobooks. You are going to be changing the way that you are actually thinking because you're hearing different things. Now, the next thing is you have to change what you watch. You have to change what you watch. And this is so very key because, there are so many people that go out there and they say, hey, look, I want to, let's say, for instance, I want to be married. There are a lot of guys that may be out there and maybe they want to be in a relationship. Maybe they want to be married. Well, if you go on their social media page, they are following all of these young ladies and women that are basically half naked and basically don't have any clothes on. And when you are actually watching and looking at those things, it is automatically programming your mind to think this is what a woman should look like. This is how I want my woman to look like. And so what happens, you end up going after those women and you end up in a situation that is not good for you. And when you decide to change what you watch, it goes down to even being on social media, also changing what you're watching on TV, also changing what you are, watching on YouTube. These things are going to cause for you to be able to change the way that you think. If you think about it, you have your ears that are close to your brain, you have your eyes that are close to your brain, and these are basically windows. Your eyes are windows, your ears are windows that allows for information to come in and it goes directly to your brain. So if you are not careful and you are listening to the wrong stuff, you are watching the wrong stuff, you are not going to be able to become that person that you desire to become because you have the wrong ideas and you have the wrong images in your mind. Now, the very last one, which is number 4, is you have to change what you say. Change speech. Now, this is a very important one because a lot of the times people do not hear, or they really oftentimes people do not hear the conversations that you are having with yourself. And when you are actually talking, not just to other people, but talking to yourself, if you are not speaking positive things, if you are not speaking things that are going to help benefit you, you are going to constantly stay in the spot that you are in right now. In the Bible, it says that life and death are in the power of the tongue. So as you start to speak certain things, you are basically either causing something to die or you're causing something to live. It's just like having a negative and having a positive. And for you to be able to change what you're speaking, what do you first have to do? Well, first you have to change what you're watching. Then you have to change what you're listening to, because those are going to give you different ideas and different ways of thinking that is going to allow for you to start really being able to change your life. So this is why the best investment in 2025 that you can ever make in your life is going to be in yourself. But first, it starts with a decision. Decide, okay, I am going to do whatever it's going to take. It requires change. It requires me being different. I'm going to make that decision to make my life better. Number 2, once you make that decision, you have to change what you're listening to. Some of the music you're listening to is probably not helping motivate you. So you have to start listening to positive things, self-development, seminars, audiobooks for self-help. You start listening to people like Jim Rohn, Les Brown, Myron Golden, E.T. the Hip Hop Preacher, and there are many more, but those are just a few. The next thing is change what you watch. Just like change what you're listening to, you also need to change what you're watching. Make sure you're watching things that are actually going to allow for you to think differently as you progress to go forward. And the last thing is changing what you're listening to, changing what you're watching. The last thing is changing your speech. When you're able to change your speech, you're going to be putting different seeds out into the atmosphere that's going to allow for you to start to develop into the person that you need to become. So I hope that this video was helpful for you. If it was, make sure you go ahead and leave a like, and I will catch you in the next video.